Good morning, it's midnight. I've just got back from the House of Commons. Okay, this probably isn't the best way to start a vlog. I'm going to go to bed and then we'll pick it up in the morning.
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
Let's try this again. Good actual morning. It's Saturday morning and I'm feeling fairly alive. It was if you've watched the end of last week's vlog, and you should, that's what the little eye in the corner of the video is for, so you can watch next week and last week's. I went on a massive rant about MPs and the House of Commons itself. And without wishing to retract any of those statements, because the House of Commons is in a horrible state. Like, it's actually covered in scaffolding at the moment, so they are doing something. But it does have a mouse infestation, of which I saw. But it's still an impressive place to walk into. That's what I will say. Even with the, frankly, contemptible actions of the members, it's still a place that is in some ways quite inspiring, but mainly because of what it has done rather than what it is doing. So it's no longer the morning. Here I am at Somerset House for the Swatch Christmas shenanigans. All I have to do is work out how to get into the bit I'm supposed to be in. So let's have a look. Here we are, another fabulous staircase. Comes the backup. Thank you. Some macaroons. Is that in the way? No, that's good. This is the view the other direction, out of Somerset House. And back at the bridge and beyond in the London Eye. And the House of Parliament, where we were mere hours ago. And this is all the frivolity that's going on in here. More awesome staircases and Christmas trees. So, spiral oval staircase. Another week, another Christmas market. This is Kingston. All the usual shenanigans, gloves and candle holders and a massive tree. And toffee apples and gingerbread, etc. It's fully festive here. Good afternoon. I've just been listening to Alpha 7 by Blaine, which is, although is practically a 20-year-old piece of drum and bass, holds up incredibly well. And there's a few stylistic things that people don't tend to do nowadays, but still sort of amazing piece of music. Anyway, here I am in Ham. I've come to Ham because today is the 5th of December. And you're thinking, well, that's not a very significant day. And you're wrong, because it is exactly 2 years since myself and Crystal got engaged. And so we're having a German meal tonight to celebrate. And in order to do that, I require some supplies, and where better than little Germany itself, Ham. So I'm coming here to go and pop a Hansel and Pretzel and hope that they've got some bits and bobs that I can use for this evening. Also, tomorrow is the 6th, which in Germany is when St. Nicholas Day is celebrated, where you get chocolate for being good and coal for being bad. Although ultimately I should imagine the value of that coal will be so high that they'll stop handing it out and you'll get a more meaningless rock. So I need to buy some chocolate Santas as well. So there we go. That is what we are doing here today. So I've had to go to both German shops, but I've been reasonably successful picking up a few bits and bobs, and more importantly getting chocolate Santas, which is what everyone really needs for St. Nicholas Day and St. Nicolaus Day even. But I've also bought jars of red cabbage and apple mousse and things which weigh an absolute ton, which I hadn't really thought about, and I've got to walk back to wherever the nearest bus is. But you know, small price to pay for the German deliciousness. I'm trying to work out what to have with them. Part of me is thinking I should do potato dumplings. I don't know. I'll ponder upon that. Good morning, happy St. Nicholas Day. You can tell it's St. Nicholas Day because there's chocolate Santas in shoes everywhere. That's quite funny. You know, I went out and bought them yesterday, and Crystal did exactly the same thing, and then we simultaneously hid chocolate Santas in our shoes both before and after we got out of bed. So that's a good way of spending the 6th of December. Welcome to Birmingham. It's 7:30 in the morning and I'm off to the National Conference Centre. Okay, so this is the Waterloo Suites at Birmingham's National Conference Centre. This is where I'm doing some interviews during the day, and then later on I'll show you where I've been filming, which is a combination of the actual exhibitions themselves, which is essentially a load of little stalls and stands, and the main conference itself, which is in the big conference centre downstairs. So this is the main exhibitors floor. So you've got big video walls and all various people showing off their wares, all to do with student accommodation. There you go. And here's the main conference room. Everyone else is having lunch at the moment, and so I've just nipped in to show you. It's quite a big space, as you can see. I've come outside for a change of scenery. Here it is. Late 70s, early 80s classic architecture. The National Conference Centre in Birmingham. It's 3 stories, only the other 2 are underground. And it's on a motorway. It's everything you want. It's, you know, a tiny distance from the NEC actually. But that isn't actually anywhere near Birmingham really either, so I mean I'm near Birmingham I guess. I just thought I'd come out because the sun's going to set before I actually get to leave in like an hour or so it's my last chance to, you know, get some daylight, because I left in the dark this morning. I'll be getting home in the dark this evening, which a lot of people are familiar with, but in between those two things it was nice to see the sun, albeit briefly, over there.
Supply-demand game, that it doesn't matter what you build.
Downstairs.
So these are the innovation zones, which have just finished now.
4 rolls for £2. It's more expensive than toilet paper, but it's cheaper than buying 4 packs of wet wipes, which you're obviously going to build to students as well.
Good morning. This is the first time I've seen the sun since the car park of the National Conference Centre yesterday when it set. But it just shows how long it's dark for. The fact that I could carry on filming for a couple of hours, get on a train for 3 hours, come home, have dinner, watch some television, go to sleep, wake up, pack all my bag, get everything ready for today, get out of the house, and now it's come up. I mean, you can't help but feel that the sun's a bit lazy this time of year, to be honest. But there we go. Other than showing you a little bit of it, there wasn't really much time to really talk about the National Conference Centre in Birmingham. A couple of things worth noting. One, it's not in Birmingham, it's near Birmingham. It's near the NEC, but it's actually further from Birmingham than the NEC. And if you've ever been to the NEC, you know it's not actually in Birmingham. It's near Birmingham Airport, which is obviously known for being a quiet, sedate location and it's mostly underground, and that's because it's actually on the A45. So what I'm getting at is that it's an amazing location, coupled with its 1970s architecture. It really is a place that you should strongly consider for a wedding venue. Yes, it is a wedding venue. So you can say, I got married at the NCC outside of Birmingham, but you know, great transport links. I guess that's the positive. Anyhow, I shouldn't mock really, because you know, you might be watching this and you might live in Birmingham, or you might have got married at the NCC and you might be thinking, he's a complete dick. So apologies. What I will say is that I met a lot of Brummies yesterday, be they cab drivers or technicians or staff at the NCC, or local delegates, and they were, without exception, extremely friendly and nice. And maybe just because I've lived in London so long, I was genuinely surprised by how friendly everyone was. And not saying that every single person in Birmingham is a lovely, friendly person. I'm sure they're not. But from my statistical count, I would say that the average is a lot better than here in Blighty, in old London town. So yeah, that made it much more enjoyable than it would have otherwise been. Anyhow, today I'm off to WebVid to edit the footage that I took yesterday, which is why I'm at this time and heading to Mortlake Station. Hello there, happy Friday night. It's the end of the week, it's the end of the vlog, and so I quickly need to do words of the week before I go out to have dinner with Crystal. So, word of the week. Well, it was St Nicholas Day earlier this week, and I mentioned briefly how you need to have chocolate Santas on St Nicholas Day. So let's do Santa Claus. Santa Claus is an interesting one. In German, it is Weihnachtsmann, which literally means Christmas man. So there we go. Weihnachtsmann is German. And in Italian, it's even stranger. It's Babbo Natale. I don't know what Babbo means. Natale means Christmas. Forgive the strobing here. But there we go, Babbo Natale in Italian. So that was this week's Word of the Weeks. So that's it for this week. I've, most of the way through editing this student conference nonsense. I thank you for joining me for this trip of a lifetime. And all I can say is please subscribe if you'd like to see some more festivities over the next couple of weeks. And thanks again for watching. See you later.
Toby Stupid Vlog.